Good morning, and thank you for coming here today. So I've called this press conference today to update the media and members of the public in regards to our investigation to date. I also have some family members here that want to speak to the media. The purpose of this conference today, as I mentioned, is I want to release some video footage, some video surveillance that was captured in the area that depicts the incident in hopes that members of the public will come forward, anyone that may have had some dash cameras on their motor vehicle at the time, or any witnesses that haven't come forward to date. So I'll just provide you with a background of this investigation. So on Sunday, April 17th, at approximately 1:30, Toronto Police Communications received multiple 911 calls for a shooting in the area of Danforth and Coxwell. Upon arrival, they located a male on the sidewalk suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to a trauma center where he was pronounced dead. The homicide squad was called in, and we took over the investigation. This gentleman was identified as Abdullah Farah, 20 years old, from the city of Toronto. Now, Mr. Farah he did not reside in the area, but he did reside in the city of Toronto in the East End. From our investigation so far, what we know is that Mr. Farah attended the area at approximately 1:26 a.m. and in the company of two other males. And what we know is his intention was to enter the Cloud9 Cafe, which is located at number 1530 Danforth Avenue. This cafe is known as what they call a hookah lounge. That's Hookah lounge. Mr. Farah, what we know, he approached the front door of the cafe, and he was refused entry. So he did not actually make it into the cafe. Shortly after, Mr. Farah turned to walk away to go southbound across the Danforth, at which time our suspect vehicle approached traveling eastbound, at which time multiple shots were fired from the vehicle, striking, and Mr. Farah was struck at that time. This vehicle fled the scene at a high rate of speed and proceeded northbound on Coxwell, running a red light to go northbound. Where Mr. Farah's whereabouts prior to this is unknown to us. We know he was in the company. He arrived with two individuals, and once he reached in front of the cafe, he met another individual there, and there was some conversation. We're still trying to identify the individuals that he arrived with and the individual that he spoke with on the sidewalk. So these events that I've described are going to be depicted on the video that I'm going to show you at this time. So what you can see is Mr. Farah, he's in the company of two individuals, and he arrives at about 1:26. He's now on the other side in front of the cafe. Our suspect vehicle, what I did not mention was, at the time when Mr. Farah and his company arrived, our suspect vehicle was proceeding eastbound on the Danforth. The vehicle returns a few minutes later. Mr. Farah and his company are still out front, and then the vehicle comes back a third time, traveling eastbound, at which time the shots are fired and Mr. Farah is struck. Okay, so we're appealing to members of the public who were in the area. As you can see, there's a number of vehicles that are traveling eastbound and westbound on the Danforth. So we're hoping that some of those vehicles may have had a dash cam that can assist us in our investigation. We've done extensive canvass in the area for surveillance video from residential premises. Members of the community have been extremely cooperative in that regard so far, but we know there's still a number of people out there that know what happened or that can identify this vehicle. So at this time, I'm going to ask that there's a family member here. She's a sister of Mr. Farah. Her name is Ifra Farah, and she wants to speak on behalf of the family. And then at that point, I'll take any questions that you may have in regards to the investigation. Okay. Ifra?
Assalamu alaikum. Hello. I would first like to start by thanking everyone for their condolences and their well wishes. The outpouring of support that our family has received. Our house has been full for the past few days with countless people coming by to share stories and memories that they had with Abdullah. To see that our brother was loved by so many has been one of the few sources of comfort that our family has had during this rough time. Abdullah was a bright, caring, and full of life. He had 3 brothers and 4 sisters that he grew up with, countless cousins and relatives, and an unbelievable number of friends that he made his family. To know Abdullah was to love him, and those who knew him are better people for having met him. Abdullah was a huge basketball fan, a proud mama's boy, and he never left the house without giving one of us a hug. He had goals and aspirations in life that were cut short all too soon. The content of his character is one that continues to inspire, and his love and commitment to his family and friends is beyond admirable. We hope that as brothers and sisters, we can come together to support each other as a community. Abdullah's death was beyond heartbreaking. It's something that no family should have to go through. Unfortunately, it has become an all too common occurrence, especially in our city and particularly within the Somali community. And almost all of these deaths go unsolved. We would like to also take this opportunity to clear up any misconceptions and set the record straight on the nature of Abdullah's death. Our family is deeply disturbed by the recent reports in the media suggesting that it was confirmed that our beloved brother was the target of this crime. I want to make this clear. Our brother was not involved in any gang activity, he was not known to the police, and he did not deserve to have his life taken so abruptly. Reports suggesting that Abdullah was involved in anything of that nature are not only inconsiderate to our family during this rough time, but we strongly urge the members of the media to think about the way that they choose to approach reporting and the way that carelessness in reporting often criminalizes and stereotypes many victims that are members of marginalized communities. Our brother was killed by a bullet, and we don't want his character assassinated as well. We would like to urge anyone with information to please step forward and assist the police with this investigation. There's a number of ways in which you can do this anonymously. We can't emphasize enough how any bit of information is crucial to this investigation. And finally, we'd like to use this opportunity just to hope that our family is the last one that has to go through something like this. Let's hope and pray that no mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, cousin, or friend has to go through what our family is going through. As first-generation Somali Canadians, we know the story of struggle. Many of our families have escaped hardships in Somalia only to experience a new dangerous reality in our communities here. There's a whole generation of innocent Somali men that are being murdered in the streets, innocent young men who are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We as a community need to come together to ensure that this does not happen to anyone else, and we need to figure out a way to stop this. And at this time, we would humbly like to request the media that respect our family's privacy during this time. Thank you. I'm sorry, no questions. I don't. Thank you.
So I'll take any questions that you may have.
Well, the family seems to believe strongly that Abdullah was not targeted, yet you've just told us a car went by 3 times. What's your position on that, in your view?
So based on the circumstances that we know, and obviously the information from the video, it appears that he was targeted. We have to also keep in mind that he was in the company of 3 other individuals who also may have been targeted that were not struck. So just based on the circumstances, but without the benefit of those other individuals coming forward, that's what it appears to us at this time, that he was targeted based on the circumstances.
Can you tell us why he was not allowed into the hookah cafe, or do you know?
So I don't know. What I do know is he has been there in the past, but as to why he was refused entry that night, I don't know.
So he was not known to police. He had no known gang affiliations, is what the family's saying. Can you confirm that?
So Abdul has no criminal record, and he was not before the courts with us, and there's no known gang affiliation that we know of.
Any make and model on the car?
So that's what we're trying to determine. We know it's a 4-door sedan. It fits a description of a number of different vehicles as to what it could be. So we're just trying to confirm that at this point.
How many people were in the car in terms of how many suspects you're looking for?
Yeah, so that information we don't have. We don't know how many people were in the car. So the appeal that I would make at this point is whoever the driver of the vehicle was, I want them to turn themselves in to the homicide squad. And if there was anyone else in the vehicle and was not aware of what was about to happen, they're asked to contact myself or the homicide squad because they could be held equally responsible.
How many shots were fired?
So what I can tell you is there was multiple shots fired. There was some stray bullets that actually struck the parked vehicles, in which Mr. Farah walked in between as he was exiting the sidewalk. Bullets penetrated into the car and into the trunk of the car. So we're very lucky that no one else was hurt.
How many times was he struck?
I'm not going to disclose that information.
Was Abdullah a student or working at his age?
So from my understanding, he was employed. I'm not going to disclose where.
Detective, in terms of him being turned away from the cafe, was it him specifically who was turned away or any of the males that he was with?
So I know specifically that he was. The other two individuals, from what appears on the video, did not enter the cafe as well. We have additional footage that I'm not going to disclose at this time, but he was definitely turned away that we know of. Okay? Thank you.
Can we run the video one more time?
Sure.
That concludes today's conference. Oh.
I have one other thing I want to say.
Sure. Actually,
Would you be able to just show us the individuals walking in the video again?
we'll go over the video one more time.
Sure. Yeah, sure. And yeah, it's very hard to see. So here you have Mr. Farah and two other individuals. They walk across the street, and now they're, as you can see here, they're in front of the nightclub. Mr. Farah has a conversation with a staff member inside the club. He's turned away. So what you can see is four individuals right now. So we've blocked out Mr. Farah walking between the cars here at the time of the incident. You can see 1, 2, and the third individual. One ducks behind this car, the other two run westbound across the Danforth.
Can you do that one more time for us, just if you don't mind, just to make it easier for our camera?
So you can see Mr. Farah
It's too large.
accompany of
Yeah, just.
three individuals out front of the cafe. He engages, you can see someone from inside approach the front door, and they have a conversation with Mr. Farah, at which point Mr. Farah leaves, and he walks in between the two cars here. So the individual that struck Mr. Farah is in between. We blocked it out, but he's walking in between the two cars. So.
Those individuals that strike up a conversation with him, did he know them or could they
So
be?
he came with two of them here, and then he met the third individual that was already up front.
You mentioned the coffee shop owner.
I never said that. I never said anything about the coffee shop owner.
So did you ask why he was not allowed in?
So what we know is he was refused entry. That's as much as I'm going to say.
By the owner or by who?
By staff member inside.
You know the reason, but you're not disclosing it, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Has the car been customized in any way? I just find it strange that you wouldn't be able to identify a fairly clear shot of a regular car.
Well, you know what? If anyone here can tell me what it is, we obviously have an idea of what the car could be, but without some confirmation and some help from witnesses, it's really hard to identify. It could be a number of different vehicles from, a lot of the vehicles look the same these days,
They do,
and
but I'm sure there's car dealers that could tell you exactly.
yeah, part of the problem is the vehicle is white, and at nighttime it flushes out. So some of the features on it, including the license plate, is blurred out once the lights come on at the back.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
We don't know how old she is. I don't know if she wants to disclose that information though.
Older, can you say older, younger?
That concludes today's conference.